Hello, what is up guys? I'm here today, back with another Black Desert video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the most recent patch that came to Black Desert on September 13th of 2023, going over the events, as well as any major changes that came with the patch, that way you don't miss a thing. And this week's patch brings a ton of events, as well as a ton of changes, so yeah, quickly before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, new to Black Desert, or you've been watching videos on the channel and still have not subscribed yet, please consider it. It helps to grow my channel, you stay up to date with new content and we both win in. Without further ado, let's get into it and start off with the events like we do every single week. And the first event is taking place right here at Finto Farm in the Velia region here. So one of the first cities you come to in the game, we got Velia right here. Off to the right, you'll have the node of Finto Farm. What you need to do is navigate to the NPC Martina Finto at this node, interact with them by clicking on the chat option, and discover Finto Farm Warehouse. This is going to open up a new node that you can access from the node management menu, which you can invest into. So just go ahead and invest contribution into it. And then at this point, you can assign a worker to run this node. Now, if you don't know how to hire workers, I'll do a real quick version of it for you, but essentially you need to navigate to the work instructor here in Velia, Santo Manzi, hire a worker, and send them to work on this node. So to assign a worker, all you do is click the Finto Farm Warehouse, go ahead and click on whatever worker you have assigned here in Velia. In my case, I got this goblin worker. I'm going to change it to run as many times as possible, and start the work on that. This node has the chance to open up various boxes, and these various boxes have different items inside of them. Now, in addition to the random items that you get inside of these different boxes, you also have the opportunity to get these Autumn Festival gift bundles, which can then be exchanged for some pretty gnarly items, including 500 Cronstones if you get 20 of them, a maid for 15 of the bundles, and some other stuff along the way there. But yeah, some pretty big items to pick up along the way. And then that NPC I just mentioned a second ago, Santo Manzi, has a free artisan goblin worker available at it. So if you do nothing else for this event, go ahead and talk to the NPC on Santo Manzi, which again is this NPC right here in Velia, right here, Santo Manzi. Go ahead and interact with them. Click on their quest tab, Shikatu's reliable support, accept the quest, and it'll auto-complete for that free artisan goblin worker. So yeah, pretty cool series of events right there. Definitely want to take advantage of it because that maid, as well as the Cronstones, fantastic items to pick up from any event in Black Desert. Now, the second major event that came with this patch is the Full Moon Rises in the Black Desert. So this event series, what you're going to do is go gathering for various items, grinding out your favorite grinding zones, or AFK fishing overnight to pick up these various little fragments right here. These fragments can be combined into either a full moon, or into a crescent moon, or into a half moon. So depending on the different combinations of these little pieces, you'll get different moons. The half moons can be exchanged for Cronstones, and the crescent moons can be exchanged for memory fragments, with the full moons being exchanged for prizes on the back end here, with the NPC Donghua. Giving 5 full moons to that NPC is going to give you a premium outfit box number 2, so a free premium outfit box. Additionally, for login rewards, you're going to get these festival letters, which can be sent to your favorite friends, and those favorite friends are going to get bonus items from them, which are additional fragments for the turn-ins. And then even further beyond that, more login rewards that came with this event period, including loyalties every day, Black Spirit Die, and all of the different fragments themselves. So all in all you got to do is log in for 5 days with this one to get enough of the pieces in order to exchange for a premium outfit box. So pretty cool little login reward series right here, and then bonus stuff along the way, which is always nice. The third major event that came with this patch is the Imperial Horse Training Turn-In type events. We've had these events in the past. If you don't know how to do horse taming or training or any of that, I have a bunch of different guides on my channel that walk through how to do it. But as is typical for these events, you're going to get the Imperial Training invoices. These can be exchanged for different items, the different items you see right there. We also have a series of quests available to the NPC Warpa, located at the Stonetail Horse Ranch. If you don't know where that is, open up your map, head on over to the right of Heidel. So we got the city of Heidel over here. Off to the right, we have the Stonetail Horse Ranch, which is located right here, Stonetail Horse Ranch. So off to the right of Heidel, just above Tariff. Completing those quests are going to give you the various upgrade items for the mythical horse. Again, we get even more Imperial Training Delivery invoices during the event period here, and you can exchange them all for sorts of different items here, including horse gear, or even a tier 8 emblem for a horse there as well, if you're looking for that. Additionally, you're going to get double the amount of Oblivion Flowers for the Imperial Horse Delivery as well. Now moving on into some of the faster events to cover, we have bonus rewards for defeating Sun Aura bosses. If you don't know what those are, it is the Black Shrine function here. So for defeating the Sun Aura bosses, you will get bonus rewards from them. There are social media games that you can play, so for following the various posting platforms for Black Desert game, you'll be entered into chances for win various items, including maize for higher boxes, Blessing of Camasylvia, and a Choose Your Pet box. So yeah, if you aren't following them on the various social medias, you can do that here. Follow the post and do the rules that are laid out there. Login rewards for fall beginning on September 14th, which is the day that this video is coming out, day after the patch released. Bunch of cool items here. We have a ton of crown stones, 500 of them total, 2,000 loyalties, which is generally pretty awesome stuff along the way. And the September login rewards have also been updated. Again, nothing too crazy here, just the typical stuff we usually see on these. So yeah, just bonus stuff for logging into the game. Make sure to claim it, and I guess it automatically claims, but if you want to see it, it is under the reward tab, login reward. You'll be able to see the various bonuses sitting right here. Now with all the events out of the way, we can get into the patch notes themselves, and like I said earlier, these patch brings a bunch of stuff to it as well. So, first things first, Guild War decks now have to be mutual. So if you want to declare war on a guild, the other guild has to accept that Guild War declaration in order for it to go through. The ability or the function where guilds were charged money for those declarations has been removed. The time to swap between servers has been changed from 10 minutes down to 5 minutes, which is pretty nice there for people that are trying to do various gathering activities or grinding in general. The karma menu in-game will now show you your entire account's karma, not just the singular characters. That's the P key on the keyboard. You see your karma listed right down here, just above my webcam. The next change here announced is the massive update to the Marni's realm that everybody has been waiting for. We heard about this maybe a month ago at this point, but yes, it is now live. The ability to recharge your private grinding zone energy or usage is in the game now. So you'll be able to grind for an hour and 5 minutes like you typically can. Then you have to wait an hour and 5 minutes to recharge it, at which point you can jump back in for another hour and 5 minutes. So essentially you just run up to 11 hours a day if you really wanted to just grind 24 hours a day, but you know, nobody's going to do that, right? But yeah, the recharging Marni's realm is here. You recharge as much time out of it as you are in it, essentially. Pretty cool for those of you that love to grind or want to grind with less headaches. Pretty nice bit there. You can grind for an hour, AFK for an hour, grind for an hour, life skill for an hour. Pretty cool. Now the next item that we have added into the game is called the Atanus Element, and this thing is pretty friggin' cool. So for the spots that don't have like rare treasure item type drops from them, such as Polly's Forest, Trader's Graveyard, Tiding Valley, those types of things, they now will drop this Atanus Element, and this Atanus Element can be exchanged for those infinite potion pieces if you're still going for those, or you can go for some Fruits of Crimson or whatever down here if you're looking to get those, or Cordolo's Origin Stone, depending on how many of these elements that you get. But yeah, for this one all you gotta do is exchange it with the NPC Marindora in Grana, and you get the items. Pretty neat. We already covered all the events, so nothing else too crazy there. We'll get into the class changes, and Valkyrie's got a ton of him. These were briefly talked about, I think, a couple weeks ago when they hit the global lab, but yeah, a ton of changes here on the Valkyrie. On the Awakening side, if you play Valkyrie, definitely something you want to read through. Witch and Wizard also got quite a few little tweaks and improvements there on the PvE scalings, but some nerfs to the PvP damage, which is typical with all of these various PvE updates that come out to the game. And then finally, Guardian got a singular little footnote right there. Next up, moving on into the ocean content in the game, we have a bunch of changes here for those either into bartering or just sailing your boat in general. First things first is that with the removal of the currents in the game, they got rid of some like trade routes that people used to take, so they're adding those back in a future update, which is a nice little improvement, I guess, for those of you that are out there doing bartering. We also have some adjustments to bartering trade goods. So level 1 trade goods now weigh less weight and can also have a different series of items that you can exchange. So you need less of items that you originally needed, as well as new items that you can add in for bartering. And then their weight has been reduced from 800 to 100 LT. So pretty nice, just all-around improvements in there. They're also going to be adding in like some siren folklore type stuff where you can listen for sirens out on the water, which I guess is interesting, and find their different zones and hunt them down. Also with bartering, we have a new item called the Lost Trade Box that you can exchange a level 1 trade good for it and get various items from it at a set probability, so something between levels 1 to 5. So interesting if you want to go and gamble away your bartering on that. Pretty neat. Moving on a bit further into the notes, we have Arena of Solaire information. The Arena of Solaire season has ended. Based on your ranking, you got different rewards. So yeah, I guess it really just depends on how you finished, and that's kind of what the next series of notes and information are. Now next up we have the world of inflation hitting the Black Desert economy with an increase in the price of cronstones from 2 million to 3 million silver, an increase in the number of cronstones that you extract from various outfit pieces of about 33%, or 50% rather, because that's how percentages work, Levi, and an increase in the value of the items on the central market, aka the Pearl Shop outfits, by about 100%, so doubling in price there, in exchange for only a 50% increase in the number of cronstones that you get. So yeah, all in all, cronstones are more expensive now, so sad for everybody out there. Now next up we have a pretty massive quality of life improvement for me, but for the various buff items or like coupons or scroll type stuff that you could get from like cash shops or from various events, Typically, these items were kind of just unstackable. They'd sit in your inventories forever, but now they stack. So if you go and look at my Odraxia storage, and if you've ever looked at any of my live streams, it's usually a mess. But now all my Books of Old Moon are stacked on top of each other, Blessings of Camas Sylvia, all those stacked on top of each other, which is pretty nice. Saved me a bunch of inventory space. I can get some contribution points back now. Now, next up on the list, we have some new awards for those of you that love Black Desert a lot. And for playing Black Desert for up to 50,000 hours, you'll have bonus prizes, including a value pack and a bunch of Crom Stones and a bunch of other stuff in here. And I'm kind of just curious. 50,000 divided by 24 hours in a day is 2,083 days, divided by 365 days in a year is 5.7 years of continuous Black Desert gameplay for that final reward. And while we're on the subject of making fun of Black Desert for being a game that you play a really, really long time, there's a new function that shows you the total amount of time that you've been playing on Black Desert. And I'm up to 7,963 hours, so I guess I don't have much room to talk, do I? But cool little feature there if you want to see how long you've spent on the game. Before, this used to just show your singular character you were playing as. Moving on into like grinding related content, we have Decia's Lantern location here at Cyclops Land that's been added into the game. So if you have 710 gear score, you can knock that out. Keeping in the same theme of grinding, we have adjustments to the loot tables for a bunch of different grind zones on the higher end. So Tongue Red Ruins, Decia's Lantern for the Ash Forest, City of the Dead, Decia's Lantern for the Tunkata region, Crypt of the Resting Thoughts, Kortuga Ancient Ruins, Olin's Valley, Tunkata, Thunderwood Forest, Griffin Rising, Temple of the Upper region, Alvia Tunnel Camp, Merwick Labyrinth, Alvia Rudum Outstation. All of those locations have improvements to the total number of items that drop from the various mobs, which should hopefully improve your income from those different locations. Next up, in general like quality of life improvement type stuff, the various mounts that you can get in the game will automatically learn sprint at 100%, so you don't knock yourself off your horse while you're learning to ride your horse at the start. We then have a bunch of node and conquest war type changes, and I'm going to be totally honest with everybody, I have not ever done these ever in my entire life of Black Desert, so I'm not a great person to learn these from. But, generally speaking, it seems to be that we got some changes to the tiers. There's a new rotation for the various node war locations based on the tier of the location. Some node war locations got changed where they take place. Various construction type things changed based on the tier that you are currently playing in. Stat limits have also been adjusted for the various tiers that you can play in. The various items that you need for guild wars and node wars and all that sort of stuff have weight reductions. And the rewards that you could get from node wars have been reduced in the amount of cost in order to pick those different items up. Moving on into the UI improvements that are more applicable to the majority of players, the Find My Item function now highlights items more readily with easier to find icons. And then beyond that, guys, not much more to go with this patch. So, like I said, it's an absolutely massive patch. There is a ton of content to cover with this one, so I do hope that I was able to hit it all for you. Like I said, I covered most of the important stuff, but if you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comment section down below. If you thought I did a bad job, let me know too, but, you know, don't be too mean. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next YouTube video, the next Twitch live stream, or wherever I happen to see you. Peace.